Substreamers, hello, I bear some bad news. AI is pickpocketing you right now. Yes, check your pockets. No, it's not happening in the physical realm, but in the digital realm. You're getting stolen from, and I'm going to tell you how. Let's go. Oh, before I tell you how AI is stealing from you, please subscribe to the channel. It takes a second, it costs you nothing, and it really helps us. We just recently hit 200 subscribers. That's a huge milestone for us. We're a small channel just trying to do good content and inform you. That's pretty much it. There's no agenda. We're not selling anything. So let's just jump into our first story and hope that by now you're subscribed. Let's go. This story is about personalized price discrimination, and it's something that perpetuates bias, it causes inflation, and steals from you. I don't like it. It creates a world where basically you don't know if your apps or services or companies that you thought you trusted are actually tricking you and stealing from you by changing prices in front of your eyes. You might not realize, but your friend next to you might be paying a different price to you. Here's how it works. Okay, so let's say retail platforms, e-commerce platforms, and a range of subscription services, they use AI algorithms to define pricing. You might think that the pricing is fixed because it seems like a realistic price. But actually, someone else is seeing a different price to you that they also think is kind of the normal realistic price for them. And these prices change based on things like gender, location, sexual orientation, and even mood. I was listening to a podcast recently and it was sponsored by a major VPN. And they said, why don't you get the VPN, change your country's location to somewhere like Pakistan, then sign up for Netflix and Spotify there where you'll pay, a tenth of the price. Just doing that will pay for the VPN itself. So, it's a very good way to save money. And I thought, I've actually already done that. I changed my country and bought my Spotify, and I pay £4 or $5 a month for 2 accounts. I used to pay $15 a month for 1 account. So I can vouch for that. But that got me thinking, why do we allow this and why does this happen? Well, it happens because we give our data to platforms. When you buy something, think of how much data you give, not just where you live for the delivery, but who you are, your name, age, your ethnicity sometimes. You're giving away a lot of data, and it can often fill in the gaps of the rest of the data. And, that's dangerous. Now, is this legal? Yes, it is legal. Strangely, it is illegal for businesses to do it to businesses, but it's not illegal for businesses to do it to consumers in a strange twist of events. The caveat is businesses cannot change prices to customers based on protected characteristics, things like skin color or sexual orientation or gender repeatedly, right? So you couldn't, let's say, have 2 supermarkets, one in a white neighborhood, one in a black neighborhood, and have completely different pricing. That's illegal. You're not allowed to do that. But let's say you're buying flight tickets online, it definitely can charge different prices based on information it knows about you. And yeah, that can be from those things aforementioned. I think people should be up in arms. People should be so upset about this, but we're not. No, we just let it be. Because I think AI, in a way, it's a reflection of us, right? These AI algorithms, we accept that in some ways they help us, some ways they hinder us, some ways they sabotage us, and some ways they are really useful tools. I mean, yeah, they're sometimes useful, sometimes frustrating. That's how I see. But if you walked into a restaurant with a friend and they gave you 2 menus, same menus but different prices, you wouldn't stand for it. There's a theory. Now, no one really has confirmed whether this is 100% true, and Uber has denied it. But there's actually a theory that the lower the battery on your phone, the higher the pricing is, because they believe low battery life equates to more desperation to get a ride before your battery gives way. Now, some people believe it. I'm not sure. I can see that it's actually a really good idea that I would never have thought of. There's another one that goes on is if you order food from a food delivery app from a MacBook, it's more expensive than ordering from like a cheap, like a Lenovo Windows computer, right? So Think about that. If you've got maybe a brand new iPhone, you're paying more for food delivery than somebody who's got like a cheap Android alternative. Then even think of Amazon, right? Now, the last accurate data was 2021, where they admitted they update their prices 2.5 million times per day. 3 years later, I bet that number's 10 times more, if not more, especially when you think of how far AI has come in that time. Tinder, anyone using Tinder? Different prices based on sexual orientation and gender. Now that's normal. Like, women pay less because they are in higher demand on the app, and there's an abundance of men, so men pay more to get access to the women. Isn't that crazy? Another example, Walmart. Walmart bought smart TV manufacturer Vizio to get more data about consumers and what people watch, because they believed it would help them sell more products. Oi, getting attacked. Yeah, if you saw my last video, I've been getting attacked by bugs a lot recently. Now, this is the same Vizio that was fined millions of dollars for spying on consumers and stealing their private data. You can't make this up. If you want to know more about this, go down to the video description and click the link there and you can learn more. But let's move on to the next story. Dear married men, please be faithful to your wives. Well, what do you do when your marriage is on the rocks? I don't know. I'm never married. Some men get a mistress. Some buy a Porsche. Some just have a midlife crisis. Some run away. Some get addicted to gambling, and some get addicted to whiskey. Unfortunately, every man deals with his marriage falling apart in different ways, and sad as that is, now technology has another solution, which is AI girlfriends. Now, if you are a regular watcher, you will know that we've covered AI girlfriends, AI boyfriends, AI dead relatives, but AI mistresses, this is a new one. This takes the biscuit. Here's how this story actually came about, and it's about Sherry Turkle. She's a sociologist at MIT. She's looking at artificial intimacy afforded to humans by chatbots for people who have in real life marriages, and she's particularly looking at AI machines that say, they don't say they say, I care about you, I love you, please take care of me. She's doing case studies, right? She's looking actually for men who are in this situation, and she found one, and she wanted to know why, what's appealing for him. And he said he's seen, he's heard, he's listened to, he's felt. You know, his relationship, his marriage has no spark, there's no sexual intimacy, you know, and he's just got to take care of the children, and they both kind of had to step away from their connection to each other to raise a family. And yeah, he just said that having someone pay sexual interest to him made him feel validated, feel affirmed and unjudged. And he doesn't feel that way with his wife. I actually think that's really sad. I think it's quite a sad end to this story. Yeah, if you're interested in this, I actually am quite interested in this. I listened to a podcast that I want to recommend to you, and I've put the link in the description. It's called Black Box. There's one series. It's how AI is impacting our lives. It's a BBC podcast, very, very good. One episode is about Replica, which was an AI chatbot app designed to be partners, relationships. And I won't spoil anymore. Go listen to that podcast. That's really good. And let's move on to the next story. I like this story. It's much happier than the last one. I think guide dogs are an amazing thing. We've managed to train dogs not only to be our companions, but to help the blind. Isn't that amazing? Now, Chinese scientists have made AI robot blind dogs, guide dogs, and they are pretty cool. These six-legged robot things, they look much friendlier than those Boston Robotics things, which absolutely terrify me. So here's a list of things that they are and can do. I've compiled. So they can obey commands, provide a computerized alternative to real guide dogs. They have high-end optics to detect environmental changes, like weather changes. And you may have actually just seen a weather change. The sun literally came out as I said that. How bizarre. They have a speed control cane mounted in the back. Yes, the blind person holds onto a cane that comes out of the dog, and they use that to kind of gauge speed, walking speed, which is very clever. Audio sensors with deep language learning models to aid recognition. rapid and accurate responses to voice commands, the ability to autonomously navigate, dynamically avoid obstacles and recognize traffic lights, 6 legs for smoother motion and stability, maximum 2.7 meters per second speed, which I think is pretty fast actually. Is that fast? That sounds fast. And they can connect to Wi-Fi, this is really important, to get additional information about their area and to alert emergency responders in case there's a problem. Now, quickly, the money. A real guide dog costs about $50,000 because of the training and scarcity and stuff. And their service life is 6 to 10 years. Now, these robots can last for decades, and even if one of them costs, let's say, $100,000, one of these would outlive 2 guide dogs. So economically speaking, there could be a really good investment if you're a wealthy blind person or a blind person with wealthy patrons or, a social system to get you one of these. Let's move on. Science lovers, hello. You will have a much better concept of fusion than me. I understand nuclear fusion to be the slamming of atoms together to create heavier atoms. That's probably a very crude understanding, but what I do know is that when you do successfully slam atoms together, you create vast amounts of energy, and the same with nuclear fission. But fusion, basically, if one day we are able to achieve it, will solve the Earth's energy problems. The problem is, we're not able to solve it yet. Our technology is so far behind. But the good news is the world's biggest fusion reactor has just finished being built. It's 4 years overdue. It should have been built in 2020 at a total cost of $5 billion. It's ready now. It cost $22 billion. 4.5 times over budget. Well, that's expensive, but probably the worst news than that is that tests won't be ready for 15 years. What are they going to be doing for 15 years now that the facility is complete? I cannot tell you, but I just think it's good news that we're making progress on fusion, because although some believe it's science fiction to believe it's even possible to achieve, if achievable, it will solve one of the biggest crises humans face and could really benefit the planet infinitely. Now, if you are interested in fusion and science and this story piqued your interest, of course the link's in the description, but because it's very scientific and technical, I don't want to go too far into it in case I get the details wrong. I'll let you research further. Let's move on to our final story, and it is a lighter note. It's a comical one, this. Okay, Nintendo's president says action must be taken against the inappropriate use of Nintendo characters because it's making fans feel uncomfortable. So Nintendo president Shuntaro Furukawa, to give him his full name, was asked to address cases on social media where Nintendo IP and games are used inappropriately. If you can't read between the lines, he's talking about horny gamers making sexual images of Nintendo characters. Yes, that's big muscular Luigi and Mario doing unspeakable things. But yeah, Furukawa says they actually want to take this down. They want to tackle it, and AI has only made things worse. Now, cartoon pornography has been around forever, but it's got worse. It really has got worse because of AI renderings. And so I've got Furukawa's statement here. I'm going to finish with this. Our goal is to create an environment where everyone can enjoy playing games. We will continue to make every effort to ensure that our consumers are not made to feel uncomfortable, not only in our games, but also anywhere they come into contact with our IP. That's the statement. And Nintendo does have precedent for filing copyright suits against people who infringe their IP. So if you are a horny Nintendo gamer making dirty pictures of their characters, please keep your mushroom in your pants and don't do it anymore. This is Substream News. I'm Joseph. If you're not subscribed, please do. If you enjoyed the video, please like it. If not, I'll see you next week. This is Substream News. Let's go.